A dangerous shadow organization launches a campaign of fear and violence in the city of Shinjuku, pushing society to the brink of chaos. Welcome to Otome Gaming. This is a review of Collar X Malice for the Nintendo Switch. In Collar X Malice, you play as Ichika Hoshino, a low-level beat cop who is knocked out one evening while on patrol. When she comes to, she finds herself in a beautiful church with a gold collar around her neck. She then discovers that she's been chosen as a sympathizer of Adonis, a terrorist group that's been causing murdering havoc and chaos throughout the Shinjuku prefecture where Ichika lives. From here, you are soon brought into the fold of a detective agency of mostly former cops who are working to uncover Adonis and stop the group's dreaded X-Day, an event that will purge Shinjuku of all evil. At its core, Collar X Malice is a cop thriller murder mystery with a nice side dish of romance. The themes of this story revolve around revenge and justice, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. The story is intriguing with just the right amount of tension and gore for a beginner murder mystery. There are 5 main love interests in Collar X Malice. Mineo Enomoto, impulsive, loud, a little dumb, but a sweetheart at his core. Takeru Sasazuka, a self-centered computer genius with a weak spot for donuts. Kei Okazaki, a kind man hiding secrets behind his seemingly airheaded personality. Kageyuki Shiraishi, always smiling, always poking out buttons, and hiding even more secrets. And Eiji Yanagi, the leader of the group with a strong sense of justice and the poster boy of our game. His route is only playable after you've played through the other character routes. Some characters' routes were better than others, in my opinion, but they were all worth playing through, with Shiraishi being a surprise favorite for me, considering he was the route I was least interested in to start with. Collar X Malice is definitely not a straight romance story. Most of the story deals with some tedious police work while trying to figure out what, who, and why Adonis. The romance aspect is sprinkled throughout as you and your partner, aka your love interest, become closer. This created a very natural flow in terms of romantic believability. The game wastes no time setting you up with your love interests, with the common route taking up just one chapter before having you focus on different X-Day incident cases for each character route. From there, the characters have about 6 chapters each of story, with IG having a little extra. I enjoyed this shorter common route pacing of the game and found each case very interesting. The final game reveals are also ones I think players will find satisfying. Beyond the love interest, I really enjoyed the side characters in Collar X Malice, especially Ichika's younger brother and her work friends. The interactions she had with them felt important for Ichika as a person, and I was fully invested in watching her re-establish a healthy, understanding relationship with her brother throughout the game. Even the characters who were part of Adonis were interesting, and I enjoyed learning more about them and the reasoning behind the crimes they committed. As far as visuals and sound go, I have no real complaints. The voice acting is excellent, the sound effects are appropriate, and the soundtrack unobtrusive, with the game's opening theme being a big standout. The visuals are beautiful with fun character designs and gorgeous CGs to collect as you progress through the story. Though not as ambitious with its graphics as newer Otome game titles, Collar X Malice's art is still a delight to behold and helps immerse the player in a darker, more mature storyline. The backgrounds can seem a bit generic and muddy at times, but it's a design choice that pushes the dark, serious atmosphere of the story. The game also boasts some fun extras, including profile interviews, endgame date scenarios, and short stories. Some of the more unique gameplay in Collar X Malice includes a sharpshooting minigame that will pop up occasionally throughout each route. It's a pretty simple minigame where you have to press a button at the correct time. It's simple but effective and can lend a feeling of urgency to already tense moments in game. Another simple minigame that will pop up occasionally throughout the story is a point-and-click investigation mode with various crime scenes. It's a nice change of pace that makes learning about these cases more interactive and less like a sudden info dump. It can be a little confusing at first if you don't realize that you can click on the same spot multiple times for more information on a topic, but once you realize this, it's all very straightforward. Finally, there are moments in-game where you are tasked with traversing a simple map of the police department. However, I found this to be a waste of time. Most of the floors aren't even clickable, just leaving the floor the game wants you to go to as a real option. I suppose it's a kind of break in the story, giving the player a sense of autonomy, but without actual autonomy to explore and make choices. So if that's the case, then what's the point? For the most part, the translation was pretty good, with only a few moments where the translations threw me off a bit. There was, however, one huge flub for a very significant choice in the game, weird tense switching, and some really horrible issues with dialogue sequences cutting off in the middle to then be completed in an internal monologue box after the next click. One or two of these, okay, fine, but this happened quite a few times throughout the game, most significantly during the final route you can play. That being said, this is an earlier game translated by Axis back in 2017, and I have noticed an improvement with their more recent game translations. And even with Collar X Malice's issues, I don't think it takes away from the overall enjoyment of the game. At this point, Collar X Malice is a fan favorite and staple title for many English Otome gamers. If you're a fan of dark themes and detective mystery, then this just might be the game for you. I personally enjoyed it. Otome Gaming gives Collar X Malice a final rating of 3.6 out of 5. Collar X Malice has an ESRB rating of M for mature. For more trigger warning details, please see the official ESRB link in the description.